Good morning, parents, kids. Come on, let's stand up. We're going to worship. Welcome to Superhero Sunday. Come on. It's never too early to worship the Lord. Let's do it together. Here we go. Let's sing it. Let's press into God this morning by declaring that No chain is strong enough that the Lord cannot break it. That we can begin to lean into Him. So as we sing, let it not just be words that we say, but let it trickle into our hearts as a declaration that God, you are good. That we do trust you. Come on. We sing it together.
Chains fall, fear bow here now. Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found here now. Jesus, you change everything. Chains fall, fear bow here now. Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found here now. Jesus, you change everything.
We sing together. The cross.
The cross is my beginning. The line drawn in the sand. The end of all my striving. Now I am born again. That Jesus was forsaken, so I will never be. His grace is my salvation, the gift of God, the work of Calvary. It is done, it is finished. Christ has won, He is risen, grace is here, love has triumphed over death forever. The cross needs no addition, it's His mercy. The Son of God has spoken over me. It is done, it is finished. Christ has won. His word stands final and forever, and it will not be shaken. He alone has won it all. Strongholds bowing to the Savior, resurrection power over every circumstance. His word stands final and forever. It will not be shaken. He alone has won it all. It is done. It is finished. Christ has won. He is risen. Praise is here. Love has triumphed over death. It is done. It is finished. Mercy won. I'm forgiven. Sing His name. He is worthy of our praise.
Man, you guys believe that? Jesus Christ, our superhero, has won the victory. Over 2,000 years ago, He won the victory over everything that we would encounter. What an awesome opportunity we have today to worship our superhero. Hey, you may not have noticed, but things are a little different this morning. We got lots of mini superheroes running around. I see lots of capes. I see lots of masks. Would you guys give it up for all the superheroes in the room? Woo! Man, you guys look awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, today we're doing something a little different. We're doing our Superhero Sunday. And what we're doing is we're going to give you guys a sneak peek, a little visual of what all our kids not just did this entire week in this room, but what they get to do every single Sunday. Because we know a lot of times we invite the kids in to do things how we do it, but we thought today it'd be pretty cool to invite you to do it how they do it. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome Sunday. I'll ask you if you go ahead and take a seat for a few moments. Grab a seat. You can get some energy, rest, because we're about to take this thing off. So as you're sitting down, you had to move a few pieces of paper, and inside that offering envelope is a Connect card that I want everybody to take a look at. It looks just like this right here. And if you're new with us this morning, we have three things really that we hope you'll do. The first thing we hope you'll do is we hope you'll fill this Connect card out and drop it in our offering bucket at the end of service. We're not going to show up at your house. We're not going to call you. But if you do put your address on the back, we will send you some free Chick-fil-A. This is a way of thanking you for being here, being a part of our service this morning. Second thing we hope you'll do is we hope that after this service, you'll walk out of these doors and you'll take a right and go to our Next Steps area. After our service, we have this thing called Meet the Pastor. We'll have a team over there in blue shirts who would love to meet you. Some of our pastors will be over there. And maybe you've been coming and you just haven't had a chance to get connected yet. This is a great opportunity right after service over here to the right. And the third thing we hope you'll do is we hope you'll enjoy our service today. We think you picked the best Sunday of the year to be here, to really get an idea of the heart of what this church is. The heart of this church is for our next generation. So we hope that you'll enjoy it. Our team's going to lead us in a few songs that our kids are going to love. We're going to have some skits. You're going to see some superheroes up here. We're going to have a video we're going to watch. I mean, it's going to just be an awesome, awesome Sunday this morning. So we hope you'll enjoy it. We got a couple of things going on in the life of our church. Next Sunday is Father's Day, and we are thrilled about that, to get to honor and celebrate fathers. So we got a few things we're going to be doing. First thing we're going to be doing is we're going to have a car show right out front in our main area over here. When you pull in the parking lot, it's going to be awesome. You're going to get a chance to see some really, really cool cars. Going to be grilling some food. And then one of my personal favorites, our kids are actually doing Dress Like Your Dad Day. You see some of the invite cards there. Dress Like Your Dad Day next Sunday. My dad every Sunday has a suit and tie on, so I will be wearing a suit and tie next Sunday and send a picture to my dad. He will be so proud to see I finally made it. I got a suit and tie, and I'm a pastor. I made it. So, hey, an awesome time next week. But what we want to do also is we want to kick off the service a little different next week. We want to do something kind of unique, and we need your help to do that. So if you can right now, if you have a smartphone, if you're in the 21st century and you have a smartphone, please pull it out real quick. We're actually going to have you guys go right here. We have a couple of song choices we're going to kick off our service with next week. So we have 4 choices that you can vote for. And what we're going to do is we're going to give 60 seconds right now for you to text whichever one you want to the number 22333. So pull out your phone, go to your text messages, go to 22333 and pick your choice of which song you would love to see us open with next week. And this band is thrilled and excited to get to do. All right, so we got 60 seconds. Go ahead right now, start sending your votes in. We've got Come Together by the Beatles, a classic. Jump by Van Halen, never heard of it. Just kidding. Living on a Prayer, that would be fun. Who would sing Living on a Prayer? Would Pastor Will be singing that one? Please vote for that one. That one would be fun to see. And we have another song that I can't see. Dream On, oh man. Dream On, nice. All right, we got about 20, 30 more seconds. Send your votes in. All right, we have a live poll right here. All right, so send in your vote. We can see right now who is in the lead. In the lead right now is Living on a Prayer at 32%. But there's still a little bit longer. We'll give 15 more seconds. Send your vote in, send your vote. Let's see. Good choices. Man, that'll be so fun. You are going to want to be here at the beginning of service next week. I can promise you. You are going to be in for a treat. You are not going to want to miss this. All right, about 5 more seconds. Text your vote in 22333. All right, and that is time. Do we have a final count for our first service that we can put up there? Looks like Living on a Prayer, first service, may be the song that we do. All right, awesome. That will be exciting. So next week, Father's Day, you're going to want to be here. It's going to be a blast. You're going to kick it off as soon as you pull in the parking lot to the moment you're in the seat. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. Hey, second thing going on in the life of our church we want to make sure you're aware of is summer is here. So that means summer groups are about to kick off. And this is a great opportunity for you to do life with people, to grow closer with Christ together. Because we believe that, it's really tough to grow in rows, but you can grow a lot better in circles. And so we believe in getting in a group, growing with other people, with other believers. And so in your sermon notes that you got when you walked in is a list of the different summer groups that we have. We'd love for you to take a look at those, and if there's something that speaks to you or something you want more information about, you can take this Connect card, and on bold step E, you can actually write the code of whatever group it is that you're interested in, and someone will reach out to you within the next 24 hours about how to get connected to that group. So go ahead, and if you get a chance, look at your sermon notes and see the groups that we have. But today's Superhero Sunday, so that means we got some heroes that want to come out. But before you see the heroes, we got a video of what we want to show you guys of what happened this week to prep you for what's about to happen this morning. So take a look at these screens.
Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. Now this love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, and it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. Holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love. This is real love. touch makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. Holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm finding your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. I was lost with a broken heart. You pick me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again, forever safe in the Savior's hands. You are more than my words could say. I follow you, Lord, for all my days. Fix my eyes, follow in your ways. Forever free in unending grace. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, your love, your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. In the midst of the darkest night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down and set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face.
Well, hey, we are so glad that you joined us this morning. And this morning we just couldn't help ourselves but decide to have yet another day of camp. So we do this thing typically when we start, and I just want to see if you guys can do it with us this morning. I know the kids can't. In fact, we'll start with the kids this morning. Are you guys excited to be here this morning? I think the kids did a lot better this past week. I think they can do better right now. Can you guys try one more time here? Are you guys ready for this morning? All right, just because I'm curious right now, are there any adults in the room right now that are excited about this morning? That was actually impressive. That was awesome.
They were able to get some rest last week.
They were able to get some rest. Well, hey, we are so pumped that you're here this morning, and we're actually going to start this off just like we started out camp. We're going to start out with some games. And we've got a couple giveaways. There's some Chick-fil-A. Anybody like Chick-fil-A in the room? Yeah? So to start this one out, we did this game this past week, and before we get you guys up here, we get a parent and a child up here. I'd like us to go ahead and check out this video really quick. This is our first game for this week, or for this morning.
Junk in the trunk. This challenge begins with 8 ping pong balls loaded inside an empty tissue box, attached to the waist directly above the gluteus maximus. By jumping, shaking, bending, wriggling, and even contorting, the contestant must get all 8 balls to exit the box. No hands allowed. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in elimination.
And a kid who thinks that they can knock this out of the park. And we've got some prizes, but I just need to know if there's anybody, there's no parents raising their hands. The kids are all like, yeah, mom and dad are like, don't put your hand down. Let's see here, can it's really hard to find some parents right now that are interested. Here we go, we've got 2 right here, right up here, come on up. Awesome, will you give it a hand for them? All right, this is going to be fun. And I think we've got a countdown video and everything. Come on up, come on up. Awesome. Now, what is your name?
Josie.
Awesome. And your name, sir? Jim. Jim. All right, Josie and Jim, are you guys ready for this? Born ready. Born ready. Awesome. Awesome. Do you think you can tie this around your waist behind you? And
I'm working on
is that
the
one
knot.
knotted?
Yeah.
Oh boy. You think she can just wrap it around? Let's find out. All right. Well, we're gonna have some fun here.
Let's
We've got
see
a
if we can try to
countdown
get this.
clock set up.
Put your arms up. There, Josie.
That's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work?
It might
You
work.
sure, maybe?
You could try it. Go
I
ahead.
don't know. Let's see. Here.
No, I want to stay up.
Can't get it. Oh, there,
Check that out.
There you go, Mr. Josh.
All right.
There we go. That'll work.
Now, just out of curiosity, because we have kids and adults in the room
All
right
right.
now, kids, do you
Mr.
think
Jim,
that,
you wanna tighten
that
up
Josie's
there,
going to win?
please? Thank you, sir.
And parents, do you think that
Oh,
Jim's
other
going to
way.
win?
He's going behind.
All right, so we've got to see this kind of energy
see.
coming out at the same time, right? We need to know while the countdown's going on, when they're playing this game, I need to hear the energy coming from you guys this morning. Can you do that for me?
Uh-oh.
Did we get it?
We're getting there. We're tangle it up, pull it tight, and hopefully it stays there, right? It's not. Tighten up.
We're having
I
some
can't
technical
tighten it.
difficulties.
I'm struggling.
Switch spots, Josie.
It's
No,
okay.
I want
It's
to.
okay.
No.
There we go. There we go.
There you go.
Good job, Mr. Josh.
Dad, I don't need to. They fixed
It's
it.
okay. We got it.
You ready for this?
Perfect. You think you can beat your
Have
dad?
that countdown clock ready, because we're ready for this
All right.
game.
Mr. James, come on, come
Here
up
we go.
here.
Here we
Josie.
go. Phil, I need you to watch Jim. I'll watch Josie.
All right.
Make sure, see who's going
Two.
to knock him out.
Go,
Go, here we
go.
go.
Shake him,
You
get
got to
the
check.
ball
Get him out. Get him out.
Get him out.
Uh-oh, Jim's
Oh,
working.
look at Jim's losing
Jim's
the ball.
working hard.
How many we got left? I see a few coming out.
Here we go. Shake.
Oh, you got to turn
Hold on,
around,
hold on.
Mr. Jim. You got to let it go the other way.
There he goes.
There you go.
It is happening.
Take him out. Where are we at? 30 seconds probably?
Josie,
There
you might
go.
have to jump up and down. Jump up and down. Does he still have some?
Yeah, he's still got some in
So
there.
does Josie.
There's still a few
All right,
left.
Josie.
Come on,
There goes
everybody.
one.
Let's
There's
hear it
another one.
for
Keep
him.
going.
Come
Keep going.
on.
Keep going.
We're still there.
Keep going.
I still hear him bouncing around in
This
there.
thing keeps moving around.
Kids,
How
where's our
much time
timer
we
at?
have We've got 20 seconds.
man.
20
It's very
seconds
hard.
left on the clock. There goes another one.
Oh,
all right, you're almost
she
there.
lost another one. Keep going,
She's
Mr.
got
Jim.
2 or 3. She's got 2 or 3. I need to help with the
He's
countdown.
got
Here
two.
we go.
I hear a bunch of them
ready
bouncing
for
around
this?
in that box there, Josh. 7, 6. Woo.
And there you go. All right, freeze.
Oh, how many we got left over there?
She's empty.
She's empty.
What's he got?
They're still in there.
Oh,
Let's see
my
how many's
goodness.
left
Will you
there,
give it
Mr.
up for
Jim?
our 2 contestants this
Oh.
morning? All right, I got this for you. And that for you. Awesome. And do you know how to take this off? I think I just tied it with a bow. Oh, check that out.
Oh,
Boom.
look
Awesome.
Great
Will
job.
you give it up for our
Great
contestants
job.
one more time?
Josie,
Thank you
good
so
job.
much.
High five. Don't leave me hanging. High five.
All right.
Awesome.
Now, I've got one more game, and it doesn't have a video. This one I'm just going to explain to you, but I need 2 pairs of parents and a child. A parent and a child, and I need 2 of them. A parent and a child, and I need 2 of them. All right? And I need you guys to have some kind of connection. Like, you guys have confidence in
I
each
like
other.
that.
You guys
That one right
know
there.
that you can make this happen.
I
Phil?
see one right there. I think
You
Leah
got
and
him?
Miss Kim.
All right. He's got Leah and Miss Kim. I need a guy pair here. 2 guys. Who are 2 guys? I see a lot of pointing happening right now, but I can't. He's not raising his hand. I can't do that to him. We're going to call up
Hello.
John and Dylan. Come on up.
All
right, so check this out. You guys,
Goldfish.
like goldfish, right?
Everyone loves
guys like
goldfish.
goldfish? All right, so here's what's going to happen. Is, Phil, can you pour out 2 on,
Just fill them up.
yep, not fill them up, but just load them up enough. We're going to
That's
find
good.
out who can catch the most goldfish. And Mom and Dad, you guys are going to be on this side just kneeling down trying to catch them as your child stands on this side trying to toss them up in the air for you guys to catch. Do you guys think you can do that for us this morning? All right. And
Miss
Phil,
Leah.
I'm going to need your help counting because I can't count 2 times at the same time. All right, so we're going to knock this out of the park. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, there we go.
Do you guys think
Yeah,
we can
we
knock this
are.
out of the park? All right, remember, you got to, no. Hey, Dylan, I think you're going to just like throw that. You're going to take one at a time and throw them, okay? One at a time.
You got to throw them nice and high, all right?
Just throw it. That would have been a bad
There's
day.
a whole
All right,
handful.
are you ready? Here we go. Let's get that countdown clock rolling. Oh, they got a long countdown clock. We'll roll with it. You guys, here we go.
Whoa!
There's
Whoa.
some aggression there.
Game begins.
Nice and easy.
Nice and high.
There you go.
Here we go. We're all
Go.
right. Okay. All right. A little bit high. Okay. Dylan's got to go. Oh, did
That
she
was
get
close.
one?
No, we missed
Hey,
that.
we got one over here.
No. Come on. Come on,
We
Leah.
got two.
Oh!
We got three. Okay. We're at three right now.
Oh, that was
Four.
close. So close. Keep going.
Okay,
Come on,
we're
Leah.
four. Here we go. Keep going.
Oh,
Keep going.
no. Was that one? Let's go. You got
Okay,
one.
we're good. Keep going.
Oh,
Five.
so close.
Here we go.
Easy.
Nice. Six. Keep it going. Don't stop. Dylan.
Come on,
Nice
Leah.
and high.
Come on, Leah.
All right. Here we go. Nice and high. Nice and easy. Good
got
job.
one.
Good job.
That was close. Two.
There it is. Seven.
Two. I'll take two. There you go, Leah. Come on.
Wow, they have some kind of father-son connection going on right now. This is impressive.
3, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, all right. Hey, watch where you step because we don't want to crush any of these because the band won't be happy with me. But, Phil, how many did you have over there?
We had 3, and I might have caught 1.
All right. And how many do we have over here? 8.
8.
All right, will you give it up for our contestants? I didn't think about how big of a mess this was gonna make, but hey, I've got some, I got this for you. And this for you. All right, and will you give it up for our contestants one more time? That was awesome. All right, so I have one more thing while Phil helps me clean up the mess that I made.
A little mess.
We did this one thing each and every week, but I don't know if we should do it this morning.
I don't know.
I think I left it over here. It was hanging up here at one point or another. You guys see it? The band, can you help me out?
I thought you told me to take that down, Mr. Josh.
I misplaced it somewhere. It was here at one point, but I can't seem to find it. I think I left it in here. Hold on one sec. Definitely not back there. Oh, it's right there. It's our dance party piñata. And that means we have to have a dance party this morning. And I need 2 people who can throw a Frisbee, who are confident in their Frisbee throwing abilities. And we know for sure, and by the way, if you are sitting in this section, you are in the line of fire. Just making you aware, I warned you, so now's your opportunity to move. So I need two people who can throw a Frisbee, who are confident in their Frisbee throwing abilities. Do we have somebody? Do we have a couple? All right, I'm gonna go with one kid and one adult. And I'm gonna go right here. Yep, Mr. Hubble, come on up. And then I need one kid. You guys you gotta be confident in your Frisbee throwing abilities. Frisbee throwing abilities.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go right here, this blue dress back there. Come on up.
Thank you, Roro.
All right. All right, all right. And what is your name?
Haley.
Haley, and you think you can hit that piñata? You are fairly confident. All right. And sir, your name?
Jason.
Jason, and you believe you can hit
Here,
that piñata?
Miss Haley.
He thinks he can. We're gonna have confidence
Mr.
in him. So
Jason.
here's what's gonna happen, guys, is we're gonna be trying to hit this piñata, and as soon as we hit that piñata, I need you guys, everybody, kids, adults, grandparents, everybody on their feet, and we'll have a crazy dance party in here. Can you do that for me this morning? All right. All right, are we ready for this? Do we have that countdown ready? All right, hey, I'm not kidding. You better watch out. Here we go. We're rolling
Ready,
now.
Haley?
We got to hit this
Come on.
piñata.
I
Let's
think
go
we're
ahead
going.
and
The
go.
timer's
Let's
going.
go.
Let's go.
Let's try and hit this piñata. That was pretty close. Oh, my goodness. He might have it this morning. He might have it this morning.
Oh,
my
so
gosh.
close.
That's
This
so
piñata's
close.
dancing
Are you ready
all
for
over
this?
the place.
Okay. All right, here we go.
I
Just a
think
little
that
bit lower.
piñata's
A little
ready
bit
for
lower.
the dance party.
A little bit lower. Oh, my
Oh.
gosh, he's so close. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
Heads up.
we go. We only got
Okay,
so
we're
close.
going to hit this pinata this morning. It's gonna happen. Oh, he hit the string. Okay, all right.
Come on, Haley.
All right,
Come
we're
on,
good
Haley.
there.
You got this.
Oh my
So
goodness.
close.
Oh my gosh, it's so close.
We got a
All
few
right.
more left.
Hey, come this
Haley.
way, come this way, come this way. Right here, a little bit closer. Right this way.
Dump him out. There you go. Oh!
Come on.
Haley, that's the last one. Can you get it? Oh, yeah! Good job! Woo!
All right, I need you to stand up and see your crazy dance moves this morning.
Come on, parents, stand up. Come on, let's dance.
Watch your
Go.
stepping.
Stand up. Go.
Watch your foot, watch your foot. Perfect.
Come on, parents, let's dance.
Already?
Come on. Come on down right here. Let's worship together. All right, come on. Come on down to the front. Parents, we need to see you worshiping too. Come on, kids, come on down. Come on. Come on. Come on down. Come on. Here we go. I was lost with a broken heart. You picked me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again, forever safe in the Savior's hand. You are more than my words can say. I'll follow you, Lord, for all my days. I'll fix my eyes following your way. Forever free and unending grace. Come on! 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Whoa. Come on. Come on. In the midst of the darkest night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down and set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom. Come on, come on. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. you right. Everybody jump! You are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never changes. Oh, oh, oh. You are life enough. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. You are all we need. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Whoa. Whoa. All right, we're not done, parents. We're just getting started. Come on. Staring into your eye makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the sky, running deep, stretching wide. Come on. Perfect love realized when we're with you. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. Come on, here we go. This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is your love, this is your love. In your heart, I'm found. I want you, I want you. You won't let me down. You've got me. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. Come on. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is your love, this is your love. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is your love, this is your love. Staring into your eye makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Come on, y'all! This is your love, this is your love. This is your love, this is your love. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is your love, this is your love. Come on, give it up.
Wow, that was awesome. Can you give our worship team one more big hand? All right. Well, hey, really quickly, before we get started, I have a giveaway that is so generous. And there's a small group that actually came to me and said, hey, what can we do? We want to do something. And so they actually sponsored this. They allowed us to have this awesome giveaway. So this morning we're giving away 4 Kings Island tickets with parking passes, with beverages, and all that stuff. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Does anybody like Kings Island? All right, so Miss Terry, can you do me the honor and go ahead and pull one of these names out of this hat really quickly? Let's see who we're going to have this morning. This is our first winner. Let's see who it is. I got it. It is Bentley Breggy.
That's my kid.
Bentley Breggy, are you in the house this morning? Maybe?
No.
Oh no.
You've been
So here's what we said. You must be present to win. So we're gonna have to do this one more time. Can I have a drum roll this time? Hopefully this won't take too long, right? We could go through this for a while. All right, here we go. Let's see who we've got this time. We have Thomas McMullen in the house. Oh my goodness, this could really take a while.
Oh, Bentley would have.
Let's try it again. We're just gonna go with the first name this time. Here we go. We've got Leighton Hartsaw. Oh my goodness.
They're all
This is crazy. All right, here we go. We're gonna try this one more time, and if we don't do it this time, we're gonna save it for the. No, then you get them. You want them. Okay, here we go. Try one more time. Here we go. This is it. Who do we have? We have Jonah Briggs. He's in the house today. All right, well, you give it up for Jonah. Jonah's gonna come up here really quick. I'm gonna grab his prize for him. This is pretty awesome. All right. Are you excited, Jonah? Are you excited? Do you like Kings Island?
Yeah.
All right, well, you take these back to your parents. Will you give it up for Jonah?
Okay.
That is awesome. Well, hey, really quickly, before we get started or further into what we're doing this morning, I just wanted to thank you guys. We had an incredible week at Kids Camp. And this past week, we had 156 unique kids come to this campus and hang out with us for Kids Camp. How awesome is that? Absolutely incredible. During this week, we also did a canned food drive to partner with New Life Mission. Our kids brought in 567 canned food goods. Absolutely awesome. And so really quickly, before we go any further, if you served in any capacity in any role for 4C Kids Camp, I'd love to invite you to go ahead and just stand up just for a second. Will you stand up if you served in any capacity? And will you give them a round of applause? They did an excellent job this week and made this camp happen. So thank you guys so much. And last but not least, I am super thankful to Pastor Ben and our staff and their willingness just to invest and pour into the next generation. Thank you for your heart for our kids and for our church, and it has been an absolute privilege to be able to pull this camp off. It was an honor and a privilege to do so. And so now I've got a special treat for you. We've got some superheroes that are actually going to give you a quick lesson similar to what they did this past week, and there's a couple people that I think some of our kids are going to know. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to them.
Wow, what a week at 4C Kids Camp. We learned so much.
Yeah, I know, and I heard we added a ton of new superheroes.
Yeah, me too. Oh, hey guys, what's up? How did you like 4C Kids Camp? Yeah. Hey Sam, I think that I've decided to change my name again.
You mean you've changed it? Again. Peter, I thought we agreed that one on Thursday was perfect.
Thursdays was okay, but Wednesdays was really good.
All right, well, let's hear it.
Okay, it was hypersonic, extra fantastic, super duper, H2O, spectacular boy.
Pete, I don't think you get what I told you Wednesday.
But it's really not that hard. Can you guys say it after me? Come on, ready? Hypersonic, extra fantastic, super duper, H2O, spectacular boy.
See what I mean? Remember what I told you, Pete? Remember what I told you? I said that when someone needs saving, they're not going to have the time to say, hypersonic, extra spectacular, super duper, H2O, spectacular boy, come save me!
That might be true, but I think that it was a pretty spectacular name.
Well, we'll change your name later. I'm just glad we passed training.
I am too. And I wonder why Sergeant Dash asked for all of us to come back here today.
I don't know. Maybe he has a new mission for us.
That would be awesome.
Oh, here comes Sergeant Dash now.
Attention!
That means you guys too. Everyone stand at attention with us.
Attention! At ease, you all may be seated. I want to let every single one of you know how proud I am of your performance this past week. We were able to add 100 superheroes to our field. Great job. I just got a word from Commander Ben that we have some new recruits. They're a bit older than our last few superheroes, and they may have a few extra gray hairs as well, but that's okay. I didn't see you guys out there, and when I said older, I meant wiser. And don't get me wrong, when I said gray hair, I meant beautiful locks of wisdom is what I really meant. Yes, Sam?
Why did you call us back? Do you have a new mission for us?
Not quite what I did. I asked all of you superheroes to come here today to help train our new recruits.
So, do you mean that we get to tell all the old people what to do?
Not quite. What I'm going to do is, our task today is going to be identical to what our task was on Wednesday. You and Sam will have to face your fears once again.
You mean I have to stick my hand in that icky bucket of bugs again? I am terrified of bugs.
And I have to climb that ladder again? I hate heights. I thought that was a one-time thing.
Yes, but you need to remember your training. Do you remember what you guys learned Wednesday night?
Yes. Hey, superheroes, can you help us remember what we learned Wednesday? Repeat after me. Jesus calls us.
Jesus calls us
to have faith.
To have faith.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard.
Great job. Remember, guys, faith is not just a one-time thing. Faith is all the time. And remember, have no doubt, I believe in you. You guys can do this. Begin.
I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I am not Spider-Man. I do not do bugs.
And I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I'm not Superman. I hate heights. But you know what, Sam? Why don't we just look on the bright side?
What could the bright side be?
At least we don't have to do both tasks.
How about you show the new recruits how it's really done? Get both tasks completed, please.
You have got to be kidding me.
Well, let's look on the bright side.
Don't you dare finish that sentence.
Man, well, remember what we learned Wednesday from our superhero training book?
Yeah, it couldn't hurt to have a look. All right, Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33.
Let's watch it, guys.
Stories of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop.
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus.
Whoa!
And he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat.
Whoa! This is awesome!
And walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves, he was terrified and began to sink.
Jesus, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshipped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
Oh, yeah, now I remember. Peter walked on water. He must have been terrified when he took his first step.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. But he was able to do it because he had faith.
But Peter did sink at one point, but he called out to Jesus. Peter must have had a lot of faith in Jesus to save him.
Yeah. And I cannot imagine what his disciples were thinking at that time, because I bet that their faith was grown by just watching.
I know mine would be. All right, so you guys think you can help us with our need to know for today? All right, everyone repeat after me. Jesus calls us.
Jesus calls us
to have faith.
To have faith.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard. Awesome job, guys. Well, me and Sam have to go finish our first task, and I think that you guys have a little bit more training to do. But we'll see you in the lobby afterwards. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
All right, will you give it up for our actors one more time? They did an excellent job. And I am truly blown away by their just willingness to jump in. They did an awesome job throughout the week. Those skits were done each night, and they brought energy, excitement. They connected with our kids, so that was awesome. So this morning, I actually just have an opportunity to talk to you just for a little bit. Don't worry, when I say a little bit, it's not going to be a long little bit. It'll just be a little bit. But this morning, I wanted to talk about that message that we just saw, the lesson that we just saw. So let's check out Matthew 14, 22 through 33 as we get started. I'll go ahead and read off of this since our stage sets are blocking me. But it says, "Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already considerably distant from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, 'Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid.' 'Lord, if it is you,' Peter replied, 'tell me to come to you on the water.' 'Come,' he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on water, and came toward Jesus.
Hi,
But when he saw the wind,
superheroes.
he was afraid
Hello.
and began to sink.
Hi.
And he cried out, saying, 'Lord, save me.'
That's it.
Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and
Hello.
caught him. 'You have little
How we
faith,' he
doing?
said. 'Why did you doubt?'
Doing good?
And,
Oh, yeah, I need
and
to.
when they
you get
climbed
your
into the
superhero
boat,
training
the
this
wind
week?
died down.
Good
Then
job.
those who were
Did
in
you
the
pass?
boat worshipped him, saying, 'Truly,
Have a
you
high
are the Son
five?
of God.'"
Awesome.
We pray
Hey,
for this
man,
morning.
what's up?
Father,
Have a
thank you
high
for
five?
this day. Thank you
Yeah?
for this past week.
Boom.
That was
You want a high
absolutely
five? I'll
incredible.
wait till you're done.
That we were able to learn a
Water
lot
is
about
very
you, that our
important.
kids were able to learn a
Yes.
lot about you. And I pray that they would have built their
A lot of water.
foundation of their faith this past week, that some of those things,
gonna
some
have
of those
snacks?
lessons that they learned would be
Can
ingrained
I have a high
in them.
five?
And Father, this morning I pray that
No,
we would
showing
get
like
something
Super
this
Sam.
morning. We would open our
Well,
hearts and our ears
alrighty,
to
guys.
receive. And we pray that
Have
you
a
would
See you
good
guys.
day.
allow us
Bye.
to receive whatever that word is for us
Bye.
and allow us to walk out of these doors changed. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Super fantastic.
Okay.
Now, I want you to just take a moment, parents, just
Superboy.
take a moment. Imagine you're
Any
sitting in a
donuts?
boat, right?
you said my
You're
name
sitting in a
right, I
boat,
think, right?
and you're sitting back, and you see your mom or your dad. And you watch them,
Yeah, that's
and you
fine.
see Jesus
said
walking on
Jesus
water.
instead
Now,
of
that
Peter.
in and
That's
of
fine.
itself would be absolutely spectacular, right? But I want you to imagine that
You
your
guys
mom
need
or
help?
your
I'm
dad
off
has
this
been
week.
called out by Jesus to come out
You
to
guys, yes. So I'm because
you
Aubrey's
sit
going
there,
to Minneapolis or
lean up against the
Minnesota,
back
wherever
of the
she's
boat.
going.
One, probably freaking out because you see Jesus walking on water, but you
guys
watch
need any
in
help?
awe as your mom or your dad steps out of the boat
All right.
and begins to walk towards Jesus on water.
I need to
Imagine
practice
just
my
for a second what would have gone through your mind, what would have changed in your heart,
that's so
how
weird.
that would have changed or strengthened your faith.
How much events?
And imagine just
250.
for a moment that you're sitting there watching as they walk closer and closer towards Jesus, doing the impossible.
Oh, shoot.
You see, here's the reality that we've got to come to realize. As parents, you guys are in that specific role. And I believe this morning there are probably
Thanks,
some
sir.
Peters in the room
What?
who are being called out by Jesus to
guys
say,
don't-
hey,
I mean, I
come
don't
on,
work
put
until-
your faith on display.
Connor.
The 20
And you've got some onlookers sitting next to you
I'll have her
right
and
now
Gavin.
that are waiting for you to take that next
Gavin will
step,
be
that
here.
are watching your every single
Take a picture,
move
bro.
and waiting to see you take that next step. Our first point this morning is short and simple. It's your faith today will echo for generations. Your faith today will echo for generations. The truth of the matter is that you probably know as a parent that your kids watch your every single move. You see, their personality, their tendencies, their vocabulary, all of these things were learned from you. And my question to you this morning is, are you leveraging this influence to both create and or strengthen their faith? Are you leveraging this influence to create and or strengthen their faith? Ed Stetzer, a Christian researcher, came out with a study, and it said that 83% of parents believe that they are the main spiritual influencers on their child. 83% of parents believe that they are the main spiritual influencers on their child. 48% of those 83 don't consider their faith to be as an important influence in their parenting. This means that they recognize their influence, but they don't see their faith as a priority in their parenting. What kind of preparations are we making for our kids? What kind of teachings and lessons and faith-building tools are we giving them right now? You see, when you have a child, you teach them how to do all of the basics, all of the necessities. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, right? We want our kids to be able to tie their shoes, to make their beds, to clean their rooms, to clean the bathrooms, to do all of the chores. But my question to you this morning is that those things are temporary. What kind of preparations, what kind of teachings are we giving them for the eternal? You see, another thing that I realized while reading through this and prepping for this morning was that it was not an accident that Peter was the one who got out of the boat. Now, here's the reality. Yes, Peter stood up and said, Lord, if it is really you, then tell me to come out and walk on the water. But Jesus very well could have just stood there and said, now, Peter, you sit down, Mark, you come, right? He could have looked at somebody else, but the truth is that Jesus understood that Peter would have a specific role, a specific task, a specific destiny in front of him. And in Matthew 16:18, it says, upon this rock, he's talking about Peter, upon this rock, I will build my church. And this morning, I want you to know this morning that parents, you are who God chose to build your family on. You had a specific design, a specific task. God created you with a specific purpose. Those kids that are sitting next to you were no accident, but God designed you to be able to prepare them for their futures. My challenge to you this morning is, will you be willing to put your faith on display for your kids? Because when you put your faith into action, it doesn't just do something for you, but it liberates your kids and sets your kids free to do the same. When they see you put your faith into action, they recognize that faith is not just something that we talk about. Faith is something that we live. And so I wonder this morning what it would look like if we as parents would sit up and say, hey, listen, I'm going to put my faith on display every chance that I get, so my kids understand that this is not just something that we talk about. This is not just something that we come to church and talk about. This is not just something that I've talked to them about in the car, but this is something that we live. Another study that I read recently said that 65% of parents believe that they check their phone too much. Anybody agree with that? Anybody say, yeah, I probably check my phone a little bit too much? Oh, see, I got some kids that probably agree too. Here's the thing, 56% of kids would agree with that statement. 56% of kids would agree with that statement. It went on to say that 47% of kids say that they would confiscate their parents' phone if they had the opportunity to. I wonder this morning what it would look like if we decided to set the model, set the tone for our kids. Like I said earlier, kids follow the tendencies of what we do, right? They mimic what we do. They say what we do. They do what we do. I wonder if we took just a quarter of the time that we spent on our phone and said, hey, I'm going to devote it to prayer, not just with my kids, but also privately for my family. I wonder if we took a quarter of our time that we spend on our phone and said, hey, I'm going to read the word with my kid and make sure that my kid understands that this is an important thing in their life. I wonder if we took a quarter of our time and said, hey, I'm going to worship with my kids. I'm just going to get in the car and we're going to turn on some worship music and we're going to worship together as a family. My parents did an incredible job setting the tone for me. My parents adopted 9 of us. I'm one of 11. They had 2 of their own. They did foster care for 30 years, had a ton of kids come in and out of their house. And I had 2 sisters with feeding tubes, 2 sisters on oxygen tanks, 4 sisters that had mental disabilities. And my mom's day usually started at 4 a.m. She would get up and she would start getting everything ready for the day. My dad worked 3 jobs to make ends meet, and all the while, we attended church regularly. My dad led worship, my mom led Sunday school, and I'll never forget just seeing them live out the things that they talked about. And to put it to an example of this, we moved from California to Virginia, and there's a pretty big difference, especially in the winter, between California and Virginia, if you know what I'm talking about. And we moved there, and I remember we were living on top of a mountain, and we would get in the car to go to school, and there would be snow all over our road. And we didn't have the paved road. We had the gravel road, which was no good for snow. And I remember we'd get in the car, and the first thing that my mom would do every single time was she would pray. She would pray that God would take us down safely, that he would get us to school safely, that he would bring us home safely. The first thing that we did before we ate any meal was my dad would sit up and say, "Who would like to pray?" And to this very day, these are things that I found myself doing without even thinking about. And I would honestly say that I'm not the man I am today if it wasn't for their teachings, for how they acted out their faith, for how they lived out their faith. You see, what you're doing right now will echo for generations. Your faith put on display for your kids will echo for generations. Now, the truth of the matter also is that you're not perfect, right? Raise your hand if you know that you're not perfect. Raise your hands. Kids, you too. Raise your hand if you know the person sitting next to you is not perfect. The kids are like, My challenge to you this morning is then don't expect to be. Don't try to be. Don't put on the show like you are. You see, Peter got out of the boat. He walked on water, and if that was the end of the story, that would be pretty cool. But what happened later was Peter continued to walk, and he looked over at the wind and the waves, and he began to sink because he doubted. Peter wasn't perfect. And in the same way, you aren't either, and that's okay. One of the biggest mistakes that I could see a parent make, and I see him make it often, is trying to make this appearance like, hey, I've got it all together. I'm perfect. It's fine. But the truth of the matter is that just as putting your faith on display is important, it's just as important for your kids to understand that you have a reliance on Jesus. Our second point this morning is your dependence on Jesus will become their dependence on him. Your dependence on Jesus will become their dependence on him. One of your greatest gifts that you can give them is allowing them to see the necessity of Christ in your life. Allowing them to see the necessity of Christ in your life. You see, what's awesome about being a parent is that you guys have the opportunity to influence and have kids see every single action that you make. But it's okay to let them see you fail. When Peter began to sink, what did he do? He didn't deny that it wasn't happening, right? He didn't begin to sink and be like, this isn't happening. I'm perfectly fine. He didn't act like everything was perfectly fine. No, he cried out to Jesus. And could you imagine what that did for the disciples sitting in the boat in that moment? As they sat there and they watched their friends step out of the boat and walk on water. And then he began to sink, but he cried out to Jesus in that same moment. What your kids have to understand is that, hey, you don't have it all together. You're not perfect, and that's okay. Because when they see you cry out to Jesus, they understand that, hey, mom and dad don't have it together, and they need Jesus, and so do I. And so my second challenge to you this morning is just that. Be okay with not being perfect and relying on Jesus, because when you rely on Jesus, when you put your faith and you allow kids to see, hey, I don't have it together and I have to cry out to Jesus, it allows them to understand that, hey, I need to cry out to Jesus too. Earlier this morning, Pastor Joseph talked about a Connect card. I'd love to invite you guys to go ahead and pull that Connect card out. We're going to take a couple bold steps this morning. Our first bold step is bold step A. And it's, I want to commit or recommit my life to Jesus. Our second bold step B, is today I am choosing to be baptized. If you'd like to do that, I'd love to invite you to check bold step B. Bold step C is I'm committing this week to making my faith be a key to my parenting. I'm committing this week to making my faith be a key to my parenting. Bold step D is send me the link to sign up for Grow 2. Developing Spiritual Habits on June 23rd. That's an awesome thing. You don't want to miss out on that. And bold step E is I want to sign up for a summer small group. You can go ahead and check bold step E for that. You can see those small groups inside of your program. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and invite our ushers to come forward as our team prepares to lead us in worship. And one of the things that I love about what we were able to do this past week is we were able to do so much because of the generosity of this church. Because of your generosity and your willingness to give and your willingness to honor God with his tithe and our offering, we were able to put on an incredible camp. And if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for all that you guys were able to do, not just in terms of giving your resources, but also giving your time and your energy, this thing wouldn't have happened. So thank you so much for doing so. At this time, I want to pray, and then our team's going to lead us in worship. Father, thank you for this morning. Thank you for all that you did on the cross. Thank you for all that you did at camp this past week. I pray that you would have been honored and glorified through our actions. I pray that you would be honored by our tithe this morning. Allow us to experience you and really take in whatever you have for us this morning. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Would you go ahead and stand up? We're going to continue to worship together. All right, let's sing it. Come on. I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my turn till I met you. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. Come on. It was my turn, yeah, till I met you, yeah. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Come on, let's sing it. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Come on, church. Now your mercy has saved my soul. There's freedom. Now your freedom is all that I know. The old man knew Jesus when I met you. Oh, what a day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. All right, we got some more singing to do. Come on. I needed rescue. I needed rescue. My sin was heavy. The chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter. I was an orphan you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I breathe in. I have a future, my eyes are open. 'Cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, to your glorious day. All right, one final applause. Come on. I ran out of that grave. Hey, what a Sunday. Don't forget, get a picture in the lobby with some of our superheroes. And if it's your first time you've been here for a little bit, our pastors and team would love to meet you. We'd love to say hello. Head out these doors and go right over here. We got some snacks. We'd love to meet your family. And don't forget, we'd love to pray for you and offer you communion. Let's say our benediction. Together we say it out loud. The words are on the screen. Here we go. May the words of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart be pleasing to you, O Lord, my rock and redeemer. Happy Sunday. See you next week for Father's Day. All right, and if we need to do some old vacuuming, old-fashioned vacuumings. So we're going to turn this room. We got about 30 minutes. Love to help if you can.